Hello everyone, it's Tailz from Studio Wildfire here, and I thought I'd demo the Warriors for, the Second World War Warriors token pack, and how you can set it up for use in Foundry Virtual Tabletop. So I've just created a quick little test scene. I've set the grid squares to be 180 pixels, which is the size that I use. So let's create an actor. So let's make this a British soldier. Make him an NPC. Like, it could be a character or an NPC or whatever, but we'll just make an NPC for this one. Now you can see I'm using the Pathfinder rule set, but you could be using whatever rule set you like. So let's go to prototype token. That's what we're doing. So go to appearance. Now you click on this little button here for the image path. Now I've made a folder in my user data called token artwork. This is where I'm putting all my tokens. So at the moment there's only World War II warriors in there. So I'm going to go in there. Here is the Warriors of the British Empire folder, and let's start with the first fellow. Let's go with Charles, the British soldier, and I'm just gonna choose the very first one and go select file. So that's the token we're going to use. Now, if we come down here and click link to actor size, we're going to uncheck that. Keep the dimensions as 1 by 1 because it's a normal size human character, but we're going to change the scale to 2. There we go. Then we go update token. Now when we drag him onto the map, there he is, and he's scaled correctly. Now the reason why we do, if I just go back to prototype token. Now, the reason why we do the 1 by 1 dimensions and in grid scale is because he takes up 1 grid square. The reason why we do 2 is because Foundry initially wants to squeeze the artwork to fit a 1 by 1 grid square, and the artwork is scaled by 2, which is 200%, because that is the if I get my English right here, the correct scaling for that character to be correct size in that square. Now, one really cool thing that we can do, so that's that guy. So whenever we drag him out, he comes out the same. But obviously if you're creating out like an army of these guys, you don't want them all to look the same, because that'll be boring. So what you do is you can come back to the prototype and you can say, click this little randomize wildcard images, click that little button, then you go into the image path, go to the end, and you'll see each image file has a 4-digit number at the end. So take that 4-digit number and go star. Replace it with a star. So that star means wildcard. Now, and then you go update. Now when we drag it out, each placement should be a random token from that folder. So we can quickly get an army of different looking guys. Because each token set has a variety of the character in different poses, as you can see. So for example, there are ones where he's been killed, ones where he's running with a rifle, ones where he's sort of gesturing off into the distance, he's got his hands on his head because he's been captured, stuff like that. So that way you can quickly go and make an army of different guys. Or while you're role-playing in a game, you know, you might be using this token for your character, and you can have him, you know, this is when he's just in town. Maybe you switch to using this, you know, while you're gaming. You know, this is your character normally, and then you can go and change the token. Let's say he's now in a battle, and now he's got a gun. Or maybe during the game he's been wounded, so you go into get one of the ones where, you know, maybe he's been knocked over. So if I just get this out of the way, so as I update this, dunk, he's been knocked over. Or maybe, worst of worst, he's been killed. Ugh. Update token, and boom, there we go. There is a, you know, with the big patch of blood in the background. So that's a quick way of, you know, creating an army of tokens. I mean, create an army of soldiers, and having different ones that you put them down. So, for example, you know, how we did it is we go create. Let's just make a character. Let's go. This is the German soldier. Create that. So we go to the prototype. Close that window. So again, we go to appearance. We go searching for where we put it. So I've got it in user data, token artwork, World War II warriors. Where is it? We want warriors of the German Reich. Let's use. Let's go Otto. This fella here. So I'm just going to grab that one. Then we go to size, so we unlink it 1 to 1, so one grid dimension, and then scale it up to 2. Whoops, that's got to be a 2. Update, and now we can put him out. He's the correct size. And again, if we want him to, you know, if we want to do, you know, an army of guys, just using this one character, one actor, to create an army, again, randomize wildcard images, tick that, go to the end, replace the 4 digits with a star, and go update. So now, when you drag him out, you get a bunch of different dudes. And as you can see, you know, there's wounded, different weapons, different poses. Then he's been knocked down. He's got a rifle. They've got Panzerfaust. They've got Panzerschreck. He's sort of dead. He's another dead one. So, you know, it's a quick way of just creating a bunch of different guys. And it's also, because there's lots of different poses and different weapons, if you're running a character, you can just switch in the weapon or the pose that you want to use. So let's get rid of those guys. Let's create a Soviet character. So again, let's go Soviet soldier, create new, prototype, appearance. So we find where our images are. So yeah, I've got it. So as I said, like, I've got it in user data, token artwork, World War II warriors, Soviet Union. Let's go with Luca. So I'll straight away I'll make it into one that we can use multiple on. So again, put a little star. Link to actor size. Uncheck that, and make this 2. So now when we drag out our so this guy, we've got multiple different versions of him. Oh, this is putting out the same thing twice. There we go. So that's how we do the soldiers. Now, the vehicles are a little bit more involved. So I'm going to create a new actor. Let's go Tiger Tank Vehicle. Create new actor. Prototype token. Now for the vehicles, when we go to appearance, so I'm going to go and grab the artwork. So again, token artwork, World War II Warriors. Now it's in the props and vehicles folder, and let's just go for the Panzer VI Tiger. So I'm just going to grab the first one. Now again, we can do the same thing where we randomize wildcard. Put in a star. There we go. Now unlink the actor size. Now we want a width of 4 and a height of 4. And again, we want to make this scale 2. Update. So, plonk. No, that's wrong. That should be... Did I type that wrong? Oh, it says 2. No, that should be 4. Some reason or another it doesn't like. That's better. Okay, so now we can see. Oop, there's a Soviet guy. Let's put a German down. Okay, oh, he's dead. We want a living guy. There we go. Oh, he could be sitting on the side of our tank. Is he sitting on the side of the tank, or he'd actually be over here? There he is, sitting on the side of the tank. So that's how you can quickly make a token of a Tiger tank, or an actor of a Tiger tank. It's a bit weird that when the token is selected, it comes to the top. So our little guy here is lost. Let's select him. There we go. But now, here's the interesting thing. The tank, you can rotate it, but because of... Let me just zoom out a little bit so we get to see more. Because we've used that wildcard, we can now start, when we drag in, it'll start using the other views. So if I just go back to the artwork so you can see. So as you can see, each picture, so the first view is a picture of the tiger from above, and the turret is rotating between each picture. And then in the next set, the whole tank is rotating around. It's those ones that the program is randomly selecting when we go and place. Whoops. It's also selecting the isometric one. That's the turret. So when we place these down, as you can see, each one is randomly from that selection of the tiger from those different perspective views. So you know, maybe you don't want it to do that. Maybe just use a particular one that you like. But here's an interesting thing that you can do. So I'll go and get rid of these and that guy. Now you can make an isometric tiger or tank with a turret that you can move independently from the hull. So you need to create two actors. So let's go create, and we'll call this Tiger Tank tank hull, because this is going to be the main body. So we go and appearance. So we want to grab token artwork, World War II Warriors. So we use the factory grey for this one. Now, if you go through the list, you'll see there are two different tokens at the end. One called turret. One called hull, and one called turret. So this one, we're going to use the hull. We don't want to randomize with this one, but we do want to change the scaling. 4 by 4 by 2. Oops, that's 1 point. No, 2. There we go. Now I'm just going to quickly check. Yeah, because sometimes it sets back to 2. We want it to be 4 by 4. Just double check. Yep, there we go. So, when we drag this one down, there's the hull of our Tiger tank. Now we want to put a turret on top of that, so we create another actor, make it a vehicle. I'm going to call this Tiger Tank Turret. Again, go through the appearance, go looking for the image. The token artwork, World War II Warriors, props and vehicles, factory grey. Now we want the turret. Select. Now, this is where it gets to be a little bit tricky, because if we make this token to be the same as this one, you know, 4 by 4 character squares, we won't be able to select the turret, the hull underneath the turret, because they both have the same size character squares. So this one we want to make it 4 by 2, and again scale it by 2. Update token. Now I'm just going to check that it keeps wanting to send it back to 2. Okay. Close. Now let's drag on our turret. There we go. So the turret's now the right size and scale, and it pivots. Oops. The turret pivots where it should. Now what we want to do is we want to drag it over the top of our tank, and there we have our tank. Now, as you can see, this is why we made it 4 by 2, not 4 by 4. Because if we had made the turret 4 by 4, we'd never be able to select the hull underneath the turret. So we can drag and select the whole lot and move it around as one thing, or we can individually select the turret, and let's just say move the turret, or we could individually select the hull, rotate the hull. Now the downside to doing that is that because the hull, that's the one annoying thing about it, is that you eventually need to sort of shuffle things. Because I'm using no plugins. Like, you'd probably use Token Attach or something like that, where I'm just no plugins whatsoever. That's the way to do it. And there's our Tiger tank. Normally what I would do is if I want to rotate the hull, I select the whole lot, because this is how the tank would actually work. Select the whole lot, then rotate it. And if I want to just select the turret, just select the turret and rotate it. So if you're moving the whole vehicle around, then it wants to turn and travel over here. There's a target over there, so you go, oh no! So you select the turret, turret turns. Whoops. And boom. So that's how you play with the World War II Warriors token pack in Foundry. I hope you have lots of fun with it. Oh, one last thing. There is, in the props and objects, there is a mortar. It's an 8cm mortar. Set it up like a character. Like I'm using a piece of loot, just for this example. But set it up like how you set up a character. So, for example, go and find its artwork, props and vehicles, 8cm mortar. I'm just going to use that one. Set it to be 1:1 and scaling 2. There we go. Apply and dunk. There's the mortar, correctly scaled. You could have a German soldier sort of looking after it, firing the mortar. Have a British guy. Oh, where's that? This fella's. Whoops. This fella's come along and he's like, "Oh, give me the mortar." And this guy's like, "We'll have that, Sonny Jim." And that's how you can use the tokens in Foundry. I hope you have a lot of fun with it, and that's been me. Please like, subscribe, follow. I hope you have a lot of fun. Thank you.